We are so much involved in selecting each and every component of our home cinema system. It can be to elevate your audio experience or it can be to build your entire new setup. Now, in both the cases, while our focus is more towards understanding the right product or fighting for the right price, we often forget to put the closest attention to the most important element of your home cinema surround sound experience. And this element I'm talking about is the placement of the speakers. Now, placement of speakers is extremely important, and irrespective of what speaker you buy, this entire experience can go for a toss if you don't place the speakers rightly. And that's why in our today's video, I, Tanmay Mehta, your home cinema consultant or home theater wale bhaiya, with my Sark Road, is going to explain you some of the best ideal locations to place your home theater speakers. Now, starting off the list of the placement of the speakers, the first and the foremost important speakers in your home theater system is the front left and the front right speakers. Now, these speakers' job is not just to give you a wide sound stage, but also it is going to create a foundation for your entire surround sound experience. And that's why the distance between these two speakers need to be as wide or as far as possible. Now, while you take them away from each other, also make sure to keep them far away from the walls so that it also does not create or reinforce too much of bass. Now, moving on to the next speaker of the list, we are going to talk about the best friends of your front left and the front right speaker, which is the center speaker. Now, we all know center speaker is responsible in giving you a fantastic dialogue. Now, while the center speaker choice as well as the center speaker settings are very important to improve the dialogues, but what also matters is the placement of the speaker. Typically, the center speaker is recommended to be placed right in the center of your TV display or your projection screen display. Now, this speaker needs to again be right above the cabinet, or sometimes it can even go inside the cabinet, but it has to match the front fascia of your cabinet so that there are no distortion of sound or there are no losses of sound happening there. In case you are going for an acoustic transparent screen, then you might as well put it right in the center or behind the screen, but in the center of the screen again. Now, while matching the placement of the center speaker with your front, left and right, also ensure to keep the three speakers at the uniform level. Now, this is important so that there is not too much of variation of sound, specifically when your car is moving on the screen from the left to the right. Now, to those of you who are doing a 5.1 or a 5.1.2 setup, you have got to place your surround speakers as well. Where would you place them? Would you place it on the side walls or would you place it on the back walls? Well, if your sofa is going to be right across to the back wall, then I would recommend you to put it either on the stands if possible. If not, put it on the back wall, but make sure to use a wall mount bracket so that you can angle the speaker towards your ears. Now, very important thing in any of these speakers that we are talking about today is that all of the speakers need to have an angle towards your ears. Some of the speakers, especially the floor standing speakers, they also give you a manual in which they tell you how much to toe the speakers towards your listening position. Now, having all the speakers oriented towards your listening position will ensure that you are part of that sound bubble or that sound envelope. And surround speakers over here are the most trickiest because I've seen most of the people placing them flat on the back wall and they are going to just throw the sound towards the TV or your projection screen display. So ideally, they need to be a little bit tilted towards your ears. So make sure to note that point, irrespective whether you put it on the back wall or on the side walls. Now, to those of you who plan to do a 7.1 onward setup, then for you need to have speakers on the side wall as well as on your back or rear walls. In this case, avoid having your sitting again close to the back wall. Try to leave a space of at least 2 to 3 feet so that you can get enough separation between your side speakers and your rear surround speakers. Moving on to the next speakers. Now, this is the speaker which is actually going to give you a real lifelike experience, or it's going to create a 360 degree of sound around you. I am talking about Atmos speakers, in which case you can add 2 speakers in the ceilings, you can add 4 speakers in the ceiling, or you can even take it up to 6 speakers. Starting off with 2 speakers in the ceiling in a 5.1.2 or a 7.1.2 configuration, the ideal location is to place them just 1 or 2 feet above your sofa but towards the ceiling, and make sure that they are as far as your front left and the right speakers. By doing this, you can achieve a soundstage even from your Atmos speakers. Now, when you're planning for 4 ceiling speakers, from the main sweet position or the sweet spot of your home theater system, the 2 speakers will be in the front and there would be 2 speakers at the back of your ceiling, which again means that if you're planning to place the sofa or you're sitting very close to the wall, you will not be able to achieve the rare Atmos speakers. So make sure to pull the sofa at least 2 to 3 feet higher ahead so that you can have your rear Atmos as well as your front Atmos positioned properly. Now, if this was all about speakers, let us also talk about subwoofers. Now, to those of you who have missed our video on the entire subwoofer placement, then make sure to watch that using the link above. But just to give you all a brief, the best locations for subwoofers are ideally in the corner, or if they are tucked in between the left and the right speaker, but very close to the center speaker. And the last option is to place them diagonally opposite in case you have 2 subwoofers. Many of you would argue that Tanmay, I don't have a room which is, a proper rectangle. I am putting this home theater system in a living room which has got a TV right into a corner. It's not in the center. Now, if you're facing this problem, then for you, the main positions of the speakers would be the front 3 speakers. The front 3 speakers need to be again aligned according to your TV screen, which is in the corner. So the center speaker will go in that corner along with the TV, and the left right will come a little ahead towards the side walls. The surround speakers can be based upon where the seating is. So you can have one on your back wall, one can be on the side walls. But again, don't forget to angle them. This is about first type of weird layout. The second weird layout is when you don't have a back wall or a side wall at all. Now, I know most of the living rooms today have got living area followed by dining area. Now, when you have this kind of huge gap between your sitting location towards the back wall, then in that case, it is wise to use ceiling speakers as your surround speaker. These ceiling speakers though have to be at the back of your sitting, and if possible, go for angled in ceiling speaker here, because with that you can again angle them towards your listening position. And the third weird layout that we are going to talk about is about the double height ceiling. Now, I know this has been a problem with many of those who are living in penthouse, wherein accommodating the speakers from the ceiling is not possible. In these cases, try to stick to floor standing speakers if possible. The second rule is to not have the Atmos speakers right up in the ceiling, because at a 20 feet height, you are not going to get your Atmos sound properly. So you can use pendant mount speakers to get this Atmos sound down to around 11-12 feet. If not, then go for height channels to give you the Atmos sound. This was all about placement of speakers when you have typically one single row of sitting right in front of the TV or projector screen. Now, to those of you who have got multiple rows of sitting, especially for your cinema room, then it is not going to be possible to explain all of this in this video. So I am going to ask you to get in touch with our design team using the link that is shared in the description, because we have got you covered with our fantastic 2D design service as well as 3D design service. You can opt for either of these. Again, use the link in the description. And for more questions about placement of the speakers, feel free to put them in the comment section, because I, Tanmay Mehta, your home theater wale bhaiya, will be answering it. In case you found this video helpful, then don't forget to hit the like button and show your love by hitting the subscribe button as well. That's it from my end. I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you.